Welcome back. My name is Scott Harris. We are in with the latest video of me documenting my comic collection for insurance purposes. Currently, we're making our way through my box of higher grade silver and bronze and key issues. There are a few Golden Age books mixed in as well, just a couple. And we're up to Sergeant Fury number 110. This is a very nice copy, nice black cover, excellent John Severin cover. It's probably an 8. It does have a little tick here, a couple little ticks on the spine, but just a great looking comic. 112, probably only a 7.5. Does have a non-color breaking bend here, and then that's resulted in a couple dings here and a little bit of line there to go with it. I think if it got pressed, might be a little bit higher. Some non-color breaking bends here as well. Actually, it might only be a 7 because of all that, but it could be pressed up. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It looks great. I love the half frame, especially with the yellow background. Showcase 77. It's an 8.0. Received this in a trade with some people on the CGC forums. Excellent comic. Here's my Star Spangled 151. It's probably only a 6. Does have a crease here. Things on the side, a little bit on the bottom. Might get a 6.5. This is really the only major issue. The wrap is not perfect top to bottom. It's miscut a little bit. As you can see, you cut off the top edge. Classic cover from Kubert. First appearance of the Unknown Soldier. I know that some people consider Our Army at War 168 to be his first appearance. It's really not, but you know what is a retcon. So this is really his first appearance. One of my favorite titles. Here's a nice high grade 152 second one. It's got some dings on the spine, but you know, again, most of these in my Star Spangled War collection are probably in the 7 or 7.5 range. This has some tanning. Structurally, this is probably more like an 8 or an 8.5, but with the tanning, it brings it down a little bit, especially since it's a white cover. But I love the graphic design, the design elements, the logo. Like, this is amazing. Just the whole layout of this, the design is fantastic. I love this era. Maybe my favorite design era for any comic company ever is the DC 25 cent 48 pages era. The 52 pages that followed it is cool too, but I think they were screwing around a little bit more with the designs during the beginning of it, the 48 pages. So all of these I just love. This again has some tanning around the edges. It's also got some wear here. This is probably only a 6, but it looks really great, especially in the Mylar. I do have a number of issues of this series that are in pretty nice shape. Nice black cover. Now we're at the double bullet era. This has a pretty good wrap for 2 bullets. It's helped by the fact that the background is black and the circle blends in with the black, because otherwise it would go off the top. Because it's blending into the background, you don't see that as much. Still, it's a nice wrap. It's very hard to find a double bullet with both of the bullets fully intact, as we can see here. Here's one again at the top, and this edge are cut off. But it's a nice black cover. It has some non-color breaking bends here. They can be pressed out. And here, same thing. It's probably 7.5 or 8. Even with those, it could be pressed higher. Double bullet, cut off. Very hard to find these perfectly centered. This is actually a pretty decent wrap. You can see it's pretty well done here. It just got twisted just slightly enough to get that cut off. I like the gradients in the background here. Some non-color breaking bends here, keep this one down, but again, actually there are a couple color breaking spine ticks that go with those bends, but they could still be pressed down other than the ticks. I've never actually pressed anything, I'm just I'm talking out of my ass, as though I know what I'm talking about. Just trust me, internet people. Little thumb mark up here, it's probably a 6.5, might be a 7. This staple is also bent. I don't really know how that will affect the grade. It might be production related. Here's a beautiful copy of 161, classic Steranko cover. Yellow Claw, Captain America. It's probably an 8. It's hard to really call these dings because I think this is these issues of Strange Tales, as we're going to see in a second here, they're notorious for having ragged edges. The running theory that I've heard is that Strange Tales was like the last book that would come off the production line from the actual printer, and so the blades that cut the books would be were duller, and as a result, by the time they get to Strange Tales, it would leave like a ragged edge. So we have a bunch of little chips and ticks here. It's production related. It's caused a small crease in the corner because one of those ticks was so close to the corner that it caused it to be bent. I don't think it's weird to grade because it's production related, and yet even though it's production related, it still is what it is. Alright, here's an absolutely beautiful copy of 167. Very slight tanning, consistent with white covers. It could be a brighter white. It definitely could be. It's tending towards cream here. And it has the same jagged edge issue, completely production related, as you can really see if you had a good look at this, because it's not just the cover, it goes through the whole book. All the pages are just like rough. I think this is still easily an 8.5 in my estimation. There's some non-color breaking bend right here. It's got blunted corner with a little fraying right there. And like I said, just a little bit of tanning. Easy 8.5. I think it could be pressed up. May get a 9 as is, actually. It may get a 9 as is. Superman 233, important issue, a key issue, really. Julie Schwartz takes over as editor, brings in Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams cover. They redo Superman. They get rid of Kryptonite. He becomes a TV reporter. And sort of the continuity, really, as you think about it in DC, begins here. Stuff that happened before here was just kind of episodic, whatever, under Mort Weisinger. I am currently trying to put together a full run of all Superman titles from this point up until the end of Crisis. I'm getting pretty close. Missing, I think, 6 issues of Superman. I've got a full run of action from this period, a full run of Supergirl in Adventure, her first series, a full run of Superman Family. Missing a couple Jimmy Olsens because of Darkseid. But I do have all the Lois Lane issues from this period, and most of the World's Finest. That's the main thing I'm missing, is the first 20 issues of World's Finest after this period. But other than that, yeah, I've got almost a full run of DC Comics Presents. I'm probably, other than World's Finest, I think I'm only missing 20 issues total to have all the Supermans from this point up to 86. This has a crease here. It's probably a 6 as a result. Tales of Suspense 57's first appearance of Hawkeye. My copy is a 4.5. I'm tending up towards 5. It looks like a 5. Actually looks a little bit better than a 5, but the back cover has a tear about yay long right here. It might get a 5 on a good day. It probably would be a 4.5 because of the tear on the back cover. I traded a weird copy of X-Men 101 for that. The copy of X-Men 101 that I had Looked like a 9.4, except for the front page was tan, like legit tan. So anyway, I'm happy with the trade. I traded that with Ted from Super World. Here's my Tomb of Dracula number 1. It is probably a 6.5. Might get a 7, but I don't think so. It's got a thumb mark here with a tiny tear. It's got several creases, and then right here it's got, spine ticks right here. It's got some rubbing, like there's a bunch of spine ticks all in a row, like someone hit it hard. But this cover is notoriously difficult to find with a good wrap. A lot of times this is off the bottom or this is off the top. Also side to side a lot of times. So the wrap on this is excellent. It presents beautifully. One of my favorite covers of all time. A Neal Adams classic. I bought that just for the cover. There's some pre-code Golden Age joy. A little horror for you. Web of Mystery number 9 from Ace. Got tears at the top staple. This is a good. It presents much better than good. Structurally, though, it does have creases and bends here that you can't see, even not just on video, but you can't see it in real life unless you have the book out and looking at a certain angle. So as far as the good goes, this is about as nice looking as you're gonna see. It's got some great pre-code horror in it. I love the yellow cover. It's an impulse purchase off eBay for $29. I just loved the cover. Weird Mystery Tales number 1. It's got some pretty deep spine ticks here. I mean, this is probably a 6 at best, but it's a cool cover. Weird Western 17. Very cool cover. My copy's probably a 6.5 or a 7. This is higher grade. This is more like an 8 or an 8.5. It's Weird Western 23. Weird Western 28. Again, this is probably an 8. Great yellow cover. Got Wonder Woman 199, one of the 5 best covers in the entire series of Wonder Woman, I think. And the next issue is also one of the best covers in the run, number 200. I bought these on eBay. They were both listed, I think, as being very fine. Neither of them are close to very fine. The 199 has some large color breaking bends. It's probably only a 5.0. This has some problems with it too that you can't really see. Same sort of thing. Some non-color breaking bends up here. Might eke out a 6. It's probably only a 5.5 structurally. They both present much higher, especially in the Mylar. So I'm relatively happy with it, but they're probably 2 full points or more below the grade they were advertised at. Just beginning to put together a little bit of a WoW Comics collection. I've only got 2 issues here, as you'll see. I am interested in female superheroes, and Mary Marvel was one of the main ones at the time. The issues are not that expensive. I think I paid $40 for this, and it's a nice mid-grade copy number 31 with the excellent Mary Marvel cover. And then I have this all-time classic cover on number 38. This is higher grade. It was sold to me as a 6.5. It's a little hard for me to grade because it does have a little bit of tanning around the edges here. I mean, to me, this is a 7.5, though. Even with the tanning, it's just absolutely beautiful. Flat, glossy, I mean, just gorgeous, and one of the best covers of the Golden Age. The only cover from WoW that I like better is her first issue, number 9, with a yellow background, but this is about as good as it gets. Very happy with this purchase. I think I paid $60 for it. I think it's a complete steal. High grade Golden Age with the classic cover, you just can't beat that. X-Men number 9. Really nice copy, man. I think it's probably a 6 or a 6.5. Has some tanning, dust shadow right here. A few spine ticks. Original owner's initials written neatly, but right in the middle of the logo. It doesn't really bother me that much. I think I got this several years ago for a good price. The guy sold it to me. It was advertised as a 5.0, but I think it's notably higher, and obviously it's got the Avengers in it, which is why I bought it. A little bit of a dust shadow on the back. Now we're getting into some other books. These are interesting because I don't really consider them part of my collection. I've got most of these as trade bait, just as trading chips, and I just haven't traded them yet. So they're issues that don't really mean that much to me on an emotional level, but they're cool books. First appearance of Spider-Woman, Marvel Spotlight 32. Has a couple spine ticks right here, one right there. Little tiny thing right there. Otherwise, it's great. I think it's a 9.0 or maybe 9.2. There's a little tick there. I might with 3 spine ticks and one tiny ding there. I think 9.2 might be stretching it, but I think it's a solid 9.0. Again, first appearance of Spider-Woman. Detective 348. Joe Kubert cover. Batman fights some birds. Got that at an auction a long time ago. It's probably a 6.5. Alright, here's Adventure into Fear number 20. It's the first issue of Morbius. When Morbius got his own series in the early 90s, it looked for a minute like he was going to take off. There's a lot of speculation about the Bronze Age characters, who was going to be the new Punisher. So books like this, Morbius' first appearance, Deathlock's first appearance, all those books kind of took off momentarily and then never went anywhere. I actually got this recently. It's got a couple very minor spine ticks. It's probably a 9.0 or 9.2, maybe even higher. Even with a spine tick, it might eke out a 9.4 on a good day. It's a beautiful book. Hulk 114, I got this. It's a higher grade, which is why I bought it. It's probably a 6.5. It might be a 7 even. I bought 2 books at this time. The other one was Hulk 115. I traded the 115 as part of a deal with Tom Brevoort, editor at Marvel. He eventually got the book CGC'd, and it was a 6.5. When I traded it to him, I kept the 114 because I thought it was higher grade. So we'll do at least a 7 on this, maybe a 7.5. I think I would be pushing it. I think a 7. It's just a random issue of Hulk, who I don't like. So at some point, hopefully, I'm gonna find eventually someone to trade that with. But I've had that book for over 20 years, so it's starting to look unlikely. First issue, Master of Kung Fu. It's really the 3rd issue, but it's the first with that title. It used to be Marvel Special Edition. Nice higher grade copy. It's probably an 8. Here's an OMAC number 1. It's unread, has slight tanning, but the whites are actually pretty bright. A little bit of blunting and dirt. It could use a cleaning. I got all these as part of a big batch of unread copies of OMAC number 1. I got very cheap. Still have most of them. That's probably a 9.0, and the other ones are a little bit lower grade, somewhere between a 6 and an 8.5 each. X-Men 266, first appearance of Gambit. I'm going to need to hurry up here. I'm running out of time. Actually, I've got several more issues of OMAC 1, but just imagine them. This has a non-color breaking bend, like a thumbnail in it, so it's probably only a 9, but I think that could be pressed down, and then it would go up to a 9.4, at least maybe a 9.6. And we'll leave off with this. It's Marvel Team Up 3. It's got, I think this is the 3rd appearance of Morbius, maybe. It's also got an X-Men appearance in it. These early issues of Marvel Team Up are great. I used to have a really awesome number 1. I had a very nice number 2. I've traded them all away, but I still have this number 3. It's probably a 6.5, maybe only a 6, but it's a great book. Frame cover, Gil Kane. And that's it. There's my collection for you. Hope you enjoyed it.